Hello everyone, this is Garrett, and this is Titan Quest Immortal Throne, and I bought myself some scrolls because I felt like it. That's the wrong button. Yes. Oh, I was too far. That's kind of silly. But yes, I bought some scrolls. One that increases my damage and armor temporarily, and one that makes me run faster and increases my damage temporarily. So let's have some fun with this. I can only use one scroll at a time. That's kind of a shame, but oh well. Fair enough. It's acceptable. I can accept it. I can live with it. I can live with it just fine. Indeedly. So I shall just go. Even my Lich King does more damage now as well. So apparently, at least it gives me an aura that should also increase the things of my allies. So I kind of assume that he is indeed one of my allies. Gonna ignore that quest person for now because, yeah, don't really want to waste this one because it did cost a fair amount of money. Although, let's be frank, I wasn't really using it for anything else anyway, but, you know, thought that counts. Have to put some thought into your things. I don't know where I'm going with that, but basically, gonna see if the extra movement speed will help me do things a little bit better. I would hope so. Because that would make these scrolls kind of worthwhile and might think about investing a little bit more money into those. If it really does help speed up the process by a considerable margin. I guess we'll find out in one way and one way alone. So far this, yeah, looks to be pretty much the same, really. I mean, I'll probably do a fair amount of extra damage now thanks to that scroll. And it is probably actually quite a lot easier doing it like this, considering stuff theoretically should die considerably quicker, but I still take a lot of damage as well. But I was actually also more interested in that scroll of frenzy anyway, so after we kill these guys, and I think our scroll has already run out, so yeah, 1.5 minutes, not a very long time, but you know, it's every little thing helps you, I suppose, so we take what we can get. But for now, gonna go back up again. We are pretty close to the quest guy anyway, so might as well give him a little chat.
Perhaps you can help me. For ages, my ancestors have been laid to rest in a cave hidden behind the falls along the Jinghe River. I used to go there with offerings, but when I last went, spirits turned against me. They struck one of their own family.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's just someone else's ghost that's plaguing the place up again. As per usual, and I can't use this one yet, so I guess it has a... I wonder how long the cooldown on this would be. Maybe 3 minutes? That would make sense, I suppose. Consider I did talk to that guy, and he had a pretty long story, and it's still only 3/4 on the weight, so... yeah, I'm gonna guess with 3-minute cooldown per scroll. Which is sensible, I suppose, else it would be slightly overpowered, perhaps. And we wouldn't want things to be overpowered, oh no. And I'm getting a lot of these rune things here. I should probably check if I have a couple of double ones or triple ones in this case, apparently. Which is good. Liking that a lot. And that one as well. Definitely good. The more we get of these, the better, because I think these are actually... those are draconians. Or dragonians, even. I don't know if I'm saying draconians, but yeah, I believe those, the ones I just got are also used for later arcane recipes, so I would be kinda happy if I filled up a couple of those. That would indeed help out a fair amount, so yeah. Let's take what we can get, as I just said, and keep on going. I don't think these dragonians aren't too bad. It really is just the casters that deal a large amount of damage. These are mostly just there to be in the way. Kind of like how with the tiger people, the only ones that really deal any damage are the ones that actually drop those flags down, which I believe are like overseers or chiefs or something fancy like that. So there we go. These are just elite archers. And what can an elite person do, really? Totally overrated to be an elite. Yeesh. Definitely overrated. But yeah, once we reach that little black part on the map, I think I'm gonna use my Scroll of Frenzy, so we can see the 35% extra movement speed is gonna help us out. Does this deal damage to me? Not that much, so get away with it a little bit longer, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna use it now, actually. Boing! Vroom! Very short vroom, but a vroom nonetheless. I'm not sure if it actually increases. I don't think it increases my attack speed actually, but it increases my movement speed, and I'm actually quite satisfied with that on itself, really. But because, yeah, movement speed is a little bit slow in my opinion. I'm really hoping I'm gonna get some nice movement speed boots or something from the next boss. Oh, froze for a moment there. Not sure what happened, but I will go with it. I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen and move on. And run with my scroll. Oh, frenzy. Let's see if we can find those spirits. Yeah, we can find those spirits that have been attacking people. Yep, there we go. But these do not appear to be quest spirits, these just appear to be fallen generals. Since the quest spirits will probably have a funky little aura around them, just like every other quest mob so far. But what do I know, right? I might be wrong. But I might be right. One way to find out, and I'm guessing these weren't really spirits of his ancestors, these seem to be more demons, so yeah, you should probably consider that maybe there's some other kind of force causing those spirits to be kind of mean. It may not even be his family that's being mean, that's Jin's. And they kind of appeared out of nowhere, that's quite rude if you ask me. You can actually see the thing over here as well. The scroll of frenzy being active, kind of like a shrine I suppose. But then it ran out and our movement speed is back to meh, alas. But yeah, plus 35% movement speed, definitely a very nice buff for movement speed, and I think I'll buy some more of those scrolls later actually, because right now I'm pretty much stuck on 3 million gold, and even if I don't buy scrolls, I'm just gonna end up at 4 million again within minutes, pretty much. Because you make quite a lot of money, and by the time I reach the final boss, I'm probably not going to need to buy anything for a while, because the final boss drops considerably better things than the things that the sale people can give me, and yeah. At the moment, I can probably still afford like 20 or so of those scrolls that make me run faster, so it's something I'm going to consider, I think. May not be entirely worthwhile, but for video purposes it might actually be just so, because, you know, the more time we can save with these videos, the better, because they are quite long. Especially compared to, let's say, Barbie Groom and Glam Pops, which, I don't know, was like 7 videos long, and that's considerably long for one of those games, really. But that's an entirely different story. This is simply just a long game. And that is something we'll just have to accept. Also, I mentioned in a previous video that I was going to officially announce whether or not I'll do Titan Quest first and then do Space Siege, or if I'll do Space Siege after the this difficulty and then do the second difficulty later. I'm just gonna do Space Siege first, actually, because yeah, this run has been pretty long. I will do a lot of things off screen while I'm working on the Space Siege run, because, well, I'll be able to easily do that. And there are a couple of items that I really want to have. Well, nothing really in specific, but I just want some really good loot before I get started on whatever the next difficulty is called. I think it's called Epic. I think it's called Epic, yeah. So I'd rather just be working on something else while I level up this character and get him some better gear as well, rather than rather than not have anything for a long period of time, because it probably is going to take a fair amount of time before I'm satisfied with the gear I have to continue with the next thingy. So there you go. Next up will be Space Siege, which is one of those things everyone clearly is looking forward to, because it was, well, it doesn't sound very good, to be honest, so we'll see. I'm not really sure if it's good or not. I've not really heard anything positive about it. It sounds kind of generic, but as I may have said before in this playthrough, it didn't look that bad, so yeah, I'm just gonna give it a shot. If it turns out to be really bad, well, that's my own fault then, really. But at least it gives me something to do while I'm working on getting this character to the next difficulty. Although that probably won't take as long as this run, because, well, recording for 10 hours straight is quite different than just playing for 10 hours straight, because when I'm just recording, or when I'm playing 10 hours straight, I would just...
Noble warrior,
Well,
thank you.
That's all I was gonna say. But yeah, when you're playing, you don't have to constantly talk into a microphone, and apparently that makes it a little bit easier overall. So yeah, it'll probably not take as long, but at least I'll get something else done in the meantime. That's the problem with these long games, really. You spend a lot of time on it and end up not really having time for other long games. That's it's a weird thing, really. Oh, that hurt my Lich King. It hurt me not quite as much, but it still hurt me a considerable amount. So yeah, I'm not really liking people shooting arrows made of fire at my face, because it kind of hurts. So yeesh. This is gonna be Dragonian land, isn't it? Ugh. I think this may have been the place I feared all this time, because I remember there being Dragonians, but I remember there being a lot of Dragonians rather than just one or two every once in a while. So yeah, hoping I'm wrong and that there's just a couple here as well, and that I just happen to run across a fair amount of them randomly. But yeah, kind of expecting this to be Dragonian land. The Dragonian people who are meanies and have meanie caster people who are out to be mean to me. Which is a very rude thing to do, by the way. You should never be mean to people, especially not people who are trying to destroy your entire society. Okay, maybe those people, but that's yum. I'm just not gonna finish that sentence. I'll let you finish that sentence on your own. It'll be like a little game. Only not really, but that's a small, unimportant detail. Instead, I'm just gonna kill pack leaders, because it looks like whenever I have stopped shooting at a pack leader, everything else is pretty much dead already, thanks to volley. And yeah, I am not gonna take any chances. Every time I see some Dragonians, I'm just gonna run back a little bit in case there is a caster, because then at least I'll be. Oh, that was quick. And there was a caster in that group, so yeah, gonna be a little bit careful around these guys. And it would appear that my Lich King took some damage there, probably from you, and you died in one shot thanks to volley. I like that skill quite a lot, as you may have guessed, since it kind of kills everything, and that is quite convenient. And I like that a lot, so yeah, I'll go with it. Pew, pew, pew. That's a fireball. That's probably not good. That's even worse. At least they die in like 2 arrows, so I don't really need to worry all that much about them, but they are still kind of spooky. Simply because of our history together. Yes. And I guess as long as you take them by surprise, then you really have nothing to worry about, unless they use that spell with the balls that they throw at you immediately. But even then, they do die in 2 shots. So yeah, at least you only have to worry about 1 volley rather than more volleys, unless there's more than 1 mage, obviously, but that's unimportant. Okay, so it did look like I have to go further north, so once again, just gonna scour around, see if I can find anything interesting. I'm 1 level away from being able to use my fancy ring of fanciness. Ow. That apparently killed him instantly. That's kind of bad. I probably shouldn't get hit by that whatever it was, although he may have been on low health. Wasn't really paying much attention there. Gonna run back a little bit. Would prefer not to be in range of his flag once again, because those flags, as I have mentioned 17,000 million times before, are quite rude. So yeah, gonna pretend that flag existed. Ooh, Urban Mage. I guess he has been turned into 3 mahogany chests and is now here to grant me his stuff. That's what I assume is going on around here. I'm probably wrong, but you know, not important. Let's get a new Lich King up. It's important. It's a good thing that he gets some experience. He can't actually level up, but you know, it's good that he will have seen some of the battles we've been in, so he can talk with his friends about it. Tell his friends what he's seen on his adventure so far. Make totally exaggerated stories about how he killed everyone, and I just kind of sat there and carried his stuff around, and yeah, you know, pretty much what heroes do. Can't really imagine what else they would be doing at that particular time, so yeah. Gonna assume that is exactly what Lich Kings do when they are not being summoned, and it would appear that I am inside a rock. That is rather awkward, but I will not question it. I will just assume that is a fancy rock that allows people to be inside it. As some fancy rocks tends to do. Pack leader, 2 pack leaders. This could hurt. That hurts. Okay, yeah, I'll leave. I'll sort of leave at least. I'll leave up to this point and then just go ahead with shooting them. Because the flag doesn't seem to have the longest range at this point, which is good. I believe it's in the later difficulties that the flag basically reaches half the world in terms of range, which is a bit bothersome, really, but you know. It's the little thing. Oh crap, I should have shot at the blue one first. The blue one is considerably more dangerous because of those balls. Blue means bad in this game. Blue means very quite bad indeed. No, thank you for not killing me. Why did they have to kill Humphrey the Lich King? Poor Humphrey. He didn't deserve that. He was fighting. He was actually doing something this time, sort of. So I think it's quite rude of them to kill him, just like they did. They could have used a little bit more tact, in my opinion. But they didn't. They were just being Humphrey haters, which is quite rude. I mean, how can you hate Humphrey, really? What has Humphrey ever done to make you hate him? Heavy Warbow Flame! Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, I'm highly doubting anything that I'm gonna find anytime soon will do more damage than what I currently do, really, because of that ridiculous amount of damage this thing does for some inexplicable reason. And these things kinda hurt, actually. So, quite rude, but I'll go with it. If they want to be rude, then I'll counter-rude them by shooting arrows at their arrows. Yo, dog, etc. Right, it would appear that I have explored just about everything around here. So, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to sell up, because as you can see, I'm pretty much out of space anyway. And then I'll meet you back here at those little 2 pillars of happiness and fire and whatnot. So, yes, gonna sell up. See you in a moment.